Right Stuff, Tom Wolfe. In the dawn of the space age, America's bravest men stood on the edge of the unknown. The Right Stuff tells their story, the daring test pilots and astronauts who turned risk into glory. Tom Wolfe takes us into a world where courage is currency, danger is constant, and the line between life and death is measured in split seconds. It begins with the test pilots of the 1950s, men like Chuck Yeager, who broke the sound barrier in 1947. Yeager embodies the right stuff, fearless, skilled, and unshakably cool under pressure. These pilots fly experimental jets faster and higher than anyone before, often at the cost of their lives. Their world is brutal and competitive. Each flight is a test not just of machine, but of manhood. To survive, you need that mysterious quality, the right stuff, something unteachable, a mix of nerve, confidence, and pure instinct. When the Soviet Union launches Sputnik, the United States scrambles to catch up. The newly formed NASA needs heroes for its Mercury program, men who can endure both the perils of flight and the public spotlight. The astronauts chosen, John Glenn, Alan Shepard, Gus Grissom, and others, come from the same world as the test pilots, but now they must become symbols of American power and pride. They aren't just pilots anymore. They are pioneers in a race that could define the fate of nations. Wolfe captures the clash between old-school pilots and the new bureaucracy of spaceflight. The astronauts bristle at being called capsule riders, as if they're passengers instead of pilots. They push to have control, to prove that skill still matters in a world increasingly run by engineers and computers. Behind the smiling press photos, Wolfe shows their rivalries, their fears, their fragile marriages, and their need to prove themselves in front of the world. At the heart of the book is a question: what drives a man to risk everything? Fame, country, or something deeper, a calling to test the limits of human possibility? Wolfe's answer is layered. The right stuff isn't about ego or conquest. It's about mastery, about standing at the edge of disaster and not flinching. It's about being part of a brotherhood that understands what it means to face death and fly anyway. When John Glenn orbits the Earth in 1962, it's more than a technological triumph. It's a moment when courage, discipline, and myth converge. America sees in these men not just astronauts, but a reflection of its own restless spirit. The belief that greatness is born from risk and that the sky itself is not the limit. By the end, Wolfe leaves us with awe for these men, flawed, proud, and astonishingly brave, who carried humanity's ambitions beyond the clouds. The Right Stuff is their testament, a story of fear and fire, of machines and men, and of the eternal human drive to push just a little farther than anyone ever has before.